Hi, you're saying this message because I want to let you know that I'm running a next workshop on March 27th on media strategy. It's called Programmatic Media Planning Made Simple. It's going to be 90 minutes of a workshop, virtual launch and learn style. We will be able to give you a recording of the workshop if you cannot join. But there's going to be bonuses for the people joining live, as always. Why should you join? Because we don't realize that programmatic media ninjas, that it all starts at the brief, at the media plan level, way before it gets into our hands. And so if you're not able to understand this process, how can we make intelligence decisions when we're optimizing our campaign, deciding which supply vendors to go to, deciding which inventory to continue bidding on or not, deciding how to even recommend new strategies if you don't understand the planning phase? So I invite you to join March 27. The link is below or in this QR code. Make sure you join, make sure you bring your friends. I want to invite as many media traders, ad ops, programmatic ninjas as possible, or whoever is working really closely with those teams. Why? Because the more the merrier, obviously, but it's also a free workshop. Why not learn and then be able to implement it in your day-to-day? And one last thing, you already know I'm going to be leaving you with a lot of guides, at least a guide or two. But here are some of the questions I will make sure you understand: how media planning starts, how to make decision in terms of budget allocation. How many times have we not had this? I don't know how much budget should be implemented here or how much budget should be allocated here. We're going to give you the secret sauce. And maybe not last, but maybe one of the many points for answers, like when do we RFP? When do we RFI? Why not? How? Where? All of those answers are going to be answered. So make sure you sign up, and I'll see you at March 27th. All right, welcome to another episode of the Programmatic Digest podcast. I am your host, Ellen Parker. Thank you for joining us today. We have a special guest, Anna Tarasevich. How are you doing today, Anna?
Completely fine. Thanks for asking and super thanked for having me today. I'm greatly appreciated.
I'm very excited to talk to you because we're going to talk about leadership in our industry, which is the advertising technology world, ad tech, programmatic, you name it. But before we even talk about the topic here, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yes, completely. So I know that it was rather complicated to pronounce it, but you succeed for sure.
Okay, whew. Okay, good. Because I do want to honor you and your name, like I said, and and I wanted to make sure I did it. But I usually practice in front of the mirror, but this time I forgot. So I wanted to make sure. So thank you again to be here. Tell us how you started. Like tell us first let's talk about where you are now, and then we'll take a step back to see how you got started. So what do you do right now?
At the time, I am leading accessmarketplace.com. So this is the ad tech company with a three core product within. We had started like with a specific connector aimed to make the unique integration between publishers and demand partners. Let's see, just imagine that you are the advertiser and you are looking for specific publishers to get onboarded, to get the supply from there. And you can use our technology just in order to make this integration super easy. You, as a demand partner, you see the exact list of potential sources and all that needed to be done just to choose and to click a couple of one button to make the integration. And in case if everything is fine for the publishers as well, so the trading process is started. It's just like I would say that Tinder for programmatic. Now we have two fresh products as well, like pre-bid wrapper technology, aimed to onboard the direct website owners.
Okay.
And we have own websites as well. So we are creating by our own. At the time, the amount is not so high, like 85 own websites, but it's still in process actually, and we have the ambitious plans for 2025, considering this product. From the demand side, it's usually monetized using Privy.js technology. So we are a tech company, and the freshest product that we have is actually the programmatic SSP platform. So this is something that all the efforts are focused at the current moment of time.
Yeah.
Lots
So
of teams are working on it. So these are the three options that we have at the current time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for my listeners or my viewers on YouTube, let me break it down even more because what Anna and her team are doing is very unique, is very special, right? Because they're connecting buy side and sell side. They're offering this technology. I want you to see them as the connector because one of the things we don't do a great job at doing as buyers, as traders, is reaching out to the sell side, reaching out to the supply side, trying to figure out. I mean, this whole curation conversation boomed last year, right? We're recording this in January 2025. It'll probably go live in the next, I don't know, we'll see. Very soon, actually. But I want you to remember, like when you hear Anna speak or anybody on the supply side, the sell side speak of demand partners, that's you. That's the buyer. That's the brand that's having demands, which makes more sense than buyer. But anyway, the demand partners, that's us. Okay. And so for someone that is a director, someone that's even trading on a campaign, you are trying to figure out which inventory to select, which publishers to go for. You're trying to connect directly to the source. That's when you want to pull in a technology like Axios, I'm sorry, Axis Marketplace. Axios is totally different. Axis Marketplace. So thank you for the introduction, Anna. But how did you, let's start talking about women in leadership, first of all, in general, and at tech. And I want us to have a real conversation for our listeners because I'm a woman, I identify as one. And so whether you're a woman or you identify as one, you're welcome here. If you're not a woman or identify neither, you're still welcome because we need allies. But the struggle is still really real. Wouldn't you not agree to like be able to move from entry level to managerial to like director maybe, and then to a VP, and then to really be in the leadership and have power? Like, what's your 2025 outlook on leadership in general before we dive into the real challenges from an ad tech perspective?
Okay, I will probably start with explaining of just my way here. So
Yeah.
it was rather complicated actually and took
Oh,
quite a
wow.
long.
Hmm.
So I just started my career in digital marketing like quite a long time ago. It was something like 9 years ago, I would say. So when the programmatic advertising just was emerging in the Ukrainian market. Originally, I am from Ukraine, from Odessa. So back then, we witnessed the introduction to the first open RTB platforms, and I got my start at Clicky, where we were creating the own SDK technology. It was just like quite an innovative for that time. So we ventured into open RTB market with a direct sources, with a direct applications, and that's actually how my the programmatic journey began. But until I was 25, I worked as a lecturer at University of Economics in Odessa, and just was trying to study for my PhD. And just after defending the dissertation on enterprise management, I realized that academy is not for me. Just
Wow. Wait,
obviously.
first of all, did she say
Yes, it was
PhD?
really strange.
Yeah,
Complete.
PhD in managerial leadership, you said? And co
Yes, Exactly. So I spent a couple of years just being a lecturer, and then I just started to ask myself, so what I'm just doing here when I have only the theoretical knowledges. So my approach is just like providing the combinations of just different options, like not only the theory, but the practical option as well. So this is what I wanted to do, and I just started to question myself: how can I just ask the people to do something that I practically cannot do by myself? And that's why I decided to get some practical knowledges. And actually, the topic of my dissertation was like providing the system of monitoring of the enterprise economy. And it was something that probably helped me to build the processes in Axis as well, because at the end, Axis is like just the simple business, like many others companies, like non-ed tech. So managing it required the similar approach, like planning, analysis, optimizing, just with a little bit innovation, I would say.
Yeah.
So economics is the field that is really theoretical, and that's why I decided to move to something more practical. And I actually was started like just from the middle general manager, and then to product owner, because I just caught myself on the thought that probably I need to do something like. Mm, Maybe less business and maybe less considering just like just talking with the people, but to see the exact result of my efforts, to see the exact product. And I spent a couple of years in affiliate marketing company where we built the news showcase product. It was actually rather successful. It increased the total turnover of the company on 30%, which was just like quite high result for 2 years that I spent there. And then I just was offered to handle Access, and I thought that it was a good decision and a good choice for me to go here and to try to build the processes here.
So you went from scholar to product marketing to
Yes,
management
exactly.
and to access, which is where you lead. But at some point, I remember you telling me how you did do some selling, right? Was it during your product marketing years? Some
Yes, exactly. So I combined a lot of different, just like job functions. So selling, product owning, dealing with a developers team, dealing with a stakeholder. So it seemed that I just tried myself almost in all the spheres in a tech.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot of position. And so what have been maybe some challenges that you came across that maybe someone listening is currently living? And how would you say you addressed it as we moved up or as you've tried a different position?
It's a very nice question, actually. So I would probably start with the challenges overall, which women face in actually in leadership and while they are just going to their targets. So especially in tech and at tech spheres. So.
Yeah.
Paper and researchers show that only 25% of executives in tech and at tech spheres are women, even in 2024. And women, on average, earn like 18% less than men in similar roles. So one common issue is that women are, I would say that women are often underestimated at first. So they
Yeah.
have to work like a little bit harder and to provide their skills and competence. So this can be frustrating a little bit.
Yeah.
And in some areas, like I just noticed that I had a chance to work in affiliate marketing. So in some areas, like affiliate marketing,
Right.
women are preferred as managers because they are seen as better at negotiating with the media buying teams, who are
Oh,
often men. And while this can create the opportunities for the companies, it also shows such kind of stereotypes that they actually still exist, and even in 2024, 2025, and possibly they will exist for some years in future. So in the programmatic and ad tech sphere, similar challenges exist, but they tend to be, I would say that maybe more formalized and less direct compared to affiliate marketing.
that's Ellen Parker Consulting. Thank you so much for engaging, watching, listening to our content. Don't forget to subscribe to any of those channels and leave us a review and maybe share it with somebody if you think it makes sense. I want to let you know two ways we can work together. We are here as an education consultancy. That means that you can hire us on a one-on-one via our course or our program or for your team. It's very hands-on keyboard. Like I dive into the DSPs, the SSPs with you and develop internal processes. We do optimization boot camps and optimization workshops, analysis workshop, critical thinking workshop with your team. We're super hands-on, we're super engaged, and usually work with those teams for about 6 to 12 months, either on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. The second way to work with us is on a hybrid model. So hear me out. Most of us have a lot on our plate, and sometimes we just need to delegate some of this stuff so we can keep focusing on our magic. We also offer a hybrid model where we come, do the work, and train somebody to take over eventually, whatever that looks like. So if you're interested, make sure you email us at info@heleneparker.com. It'll be in the message, it'll be in the description of this video or in the show notes of the podcast. And always, thank you so, so much for all of that you do. And shout out to you for showing up today, yourself, and keep learning.
Less direct compared to affiliate marketing. So, but they are present. And for example, there is often the assumption that if you are the woman in a leadership role, so it's my own experience at the time, especially when you are CEO, so there possibly must be a male decision maker behind the scenes. So people are usually really surprised when they realize that I can make my decision just completely independently.
Wow.
So it can sometimes impact just like my own confidence. And it's crucial to stay assured in just like my abilities and not let external perception and such kind of stereotypes just make myself doubt because I can be frustrated by this. So this, I would say that the maybe not the main, but just a couple of challenges that women usually are facing with.
Yeah. You know, when you were sharing, it brought me back a little bit to all of some of the challenges I faced as well. The highest I've ever held at an agency, let's say, was associate director. But I specifically went to pitch for the director position and got denied. And then it was given to a man that I trained. There's another situation where I went for VP of that department and same thing, right? It went to an older man. And so I've experienced and it blocked me. And that's one of the reasons why in 2019 I said, F it. I said, bump this, right? Because it was too much. Why would I stay at an AD level, associate director level, and I had close to 8 years in experience. And now I'm going on like 12, 13. But at that time, I was moving on to the 10-year mark. And so that's one of the things I want to address here is that maybe for me, it was 6 years ago when this happened before I started working for myself, but I still talk to women in our industry that are going through this. Like, I don't see a future for this company, or they'll come and say, I absolutely love what I'm doing, but I have a toxic leader. Um, and what would you, I wanna ask you for your advice. Like, if somebody comes to you for those scenarios, what would you tell them to do? Or what would Anna do?
Um, uh, I would say that the women shouldn't just underestimate themselves. So they should believe in their abilities and never let anyone just shake their confidence. And the most important, that just don't do it by yourself as well, because.
That's good.
It's rather complicated actually, and especially when you're a young woman, young and ambitious, and in such cases, it's really complicated to deal with the just influences that can affect on just your self-confidence. Um, so
Yeah.
I would say maybe I will give the advice just not to be afraid to understand the strong and strongnesses and weaknesses, and to work on the weaknesses, and to just make yourself in a position where your strong points just are valuable, and you should not underrate yourself in any cases. Considering the what we are doing in our company, in order, you just mentioned the toxic leader and just the toxic atmosphere in whole. I can agree with this just completely, because this is something that can happen, and actually happened quite just often in different companies. What I think that should be necessary to do in order to support the growth of just like women leaders, I would say that there is needed to develop and create some communities, like build something where the women can share their experience, knowledges, provide advices to each other, just like
Very good.
support each other.
Mhm.
Maybe the trainings as well, and just like something that aimed for self-development. Just
Yeah.
like let's say companies probably should invest in programs that helps women to develop leadership skills, because it's just like quite difficult process for most of the people, not just for the women only, but for the women
Everybody, yeah.
probably mainly. So this can include any training session, coaching, um, the access to professional courses, and so on. And of course, so when the women is achieving any results, so we can celebrate. We should celebrate it. So we should. Show to women that they are valuable, and their opinion is just to mean something, and it should just increase the self-confidence for
Increases
at least at the moment, for the women. That is crucial for future as well, for future achievements.
I absolutely love what you said, because confidence is big, but also authenticity. I would say that's what I heard from you, is that you have to stay confident in what you know and what you can do, and also be open-minded to learning more. And I do think, and I do agree that companies need to take more responsibilities and not just train just for your day-to-day, but offer leadership for everyone, like opportunities to go to like a leadership seminar, not only industry focused seminars. I feel like that's something that's missing in our industry, is that you only get to go to the programmatic IOs, the ad months, or the Digiday, when and maybe not not giving a ditch at them. I absolutely love all three. I've attended their events and really love them. But I think that sometimes having that leadership only conversation even internally is so important, which leads me actually to the next question that you mentioned too, is that as a woman, I shucks, I had to go learn on my own a lot. I Googled a lot. we didn't have Chat GPT. So I had to like really look for it. I read a lot of books. That's how my love for, well, I always was a reader, but that's how my love for self-development books have grown. But what would you give, what would you say are two things you overcame, or maybe you did to be in the position that you are? Or maybe, let me rephrase. What is one thing you did to really develop that inner leader first before you went for the position?
Um, I can respond on this question just by describing probably just my self-growth as a person. So because this is the just mixed capacities that I used on my side. So considering the inspiration, so it's really important and crucial for me. So I usually believe that inspiration can
Mhm.
help to grow up for each person. And when we are talking about me, for me, it's really important. So what I'm doing on my side, like to get inspired. So I usually listen to different podcasts, like the Knowledge Project by Shane Parrish.
Oh, okay.
And yes, and it usually just delve us into the topics like such as decision making, mental models, personal growth. These are one
Mhm.
part of my learning process, and I also just I keep learning. So there are a lot of interesting platform programs like Trade Desk has and other tech companies. They usually are providing with the listeners with some interesting like learning sessions. And even despite the fact that I'm 9 years in industry, I'm still doing it. So I'm still listening. And considering the making myself as a leader, um, the main inspiration probably were just like the books, because to be honest, for me, just I prefer like something fictional more than how-to books on leadership. So I learn more effectively on my side through the allegories and by observing how fictional characters grow, struggle, and ultimately achieve their goals. So like I can just name a couple of
Yeah,
my
good.
favorite books, like Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Just it was a super nice story of resilience and inner strength. Theodore Dreiser's trilogy, the Financier, the Titan, and the Stoic, exploring the path to success and just compromises along the way. Mary Stuart by Stefan Zweig. So this is the vivid example of strength and strategy in fight for one place, and probably these strong characters inspire me. So I believe that I am making the effort to grow myself as a person, and then as a result, I am growing as a leader as well. So it's just like it works in a such way on my side.
Wow. I don't know if y'all heard, and I'm talking to the listener or the viewer here, but she said you never stop learning. And I mean, we've been advocating this forever, but I truly never stop learning. But I also want to point out something so powerful that you said is that, you may not be into self-development, non-fictional books, but you're into fictional books and you learn from it. And I feel like that's so powerful to say, to be able to be so open-minded and so willing to learn and understand others' perspective, that you are learning in every aspect of life. And I feel like that's a superpower. Like, just in case you didn't know, but that's your superpower. I have there's an influencer I follow. His name is Nehemiah Davis, and he said it doesn't matter who he talks to, whether it's a 5-year-old or a janitor or CEO or a billionaire. It's like there's always going to be one thing he's going to take out of the conversation, one thing. And he always looks for that one thing and he gets inspired from it and then he go takes action. And so you remind me a little bit of what he shares, that it doesn't matter. And to you that is listening or again watching us, again, take Anna's example. You don't have to have all the self books. I love self-help books. But if this is not it, it's Harry Potter, it's Lord of the Rings, then read from it. I mean, there's great leadership, strength, and resilience in any of the book that you mentioned. And I'll add those in the description too, because I probably should refresh on Gone with the Wind. I haven't watched it in a long time. But it's very inspiring to be so open-minded that you're willing to learn anywhere in any capacity. Now, what I will also challenge you if you're listening is that when you learn, teach somebody else and go do it. Because there's no point of reading, learning all this stuff, and you ain't implementing it, you ain't doing it. That's not it, right? We're not saying that. I don't think that's what Anna is saying. Anna is saying go learn as much as you can, learn hard, learn fast, and then implement what you're learning. And so with that said, Anna, as we wrapped up here and go to the closing segment of the podcast, I want to ask you this one question I ask all my guests is that aside from the amazing gems and advice you gave, right? What is one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting, like a freshman in the industry, that you know now and you wish you knew before? Like, what is one thing?
Um, One thing that I wish to knew, let me think about it. Um, Probably that everything will be okay
Oh,
with my career and with me as well. So I shouldn't be afraid. So this is something that I'm struggling off every time, and especially in the
that's
past. So I always was not completely confident in the decision that I was making, and I just needed to know that. Anna, everything will be okay for sure. So you will achieve everything you want, and you will have everything you want, and you just not you shouldn't be afraid of anything.
oh
Just
my God,
do.
that's so good. That's so good. And yes, don't be afraid. We often say you gotta walk by faith, not by sight. And so walk by faith, right? Don't walk by sight because you can only see so much so far. And so there are things you need to do and you're capable of doing that your eyes can't see it. But
Yes, because a lot of time is wasted on the when you are adapting about the making the decision,
yeah,
and this is the crucial point that should be fixed. And if I knew that everything will be okay with my career, actually,
that's
uh,
that's simple.
despite of all the challenges, so probably I just would not waste so much time on thinking about the decisions. If I overthinking, I would say, if I am making it in the right way or not.
That is so powerful. And so I want to leave everyone with this message that everything will be okay, to keep learning, stay open-minded, that we all are leaders in some type of form. We all have some level of leadership, even if you're not inspired to be a leader or quote unquote to be in a higher position or to get promoted. I want to let you know that we are all leaders within ourselves because we look out for each other. We have to be servant leaders, which is always like team oriented, result oriented, learning oriented, all of the above. And so I hope you heard several of the inspiring message that Anna just dropped in our faces right now because that was so good. And I hope that if you're in a situation where it's very toxic, just like what Anna is saying, everything will be okay. It's time to take action. It's time to get yourself out and remove from the situation and go continue learning somewhere else and do and work your magic. Okay. So, like, you can still take action and try something new as well. And if it's the opposite, where you are in a situation where everything is great, then make yourself uncomfortable. Go for that position. Take the risk, right? I mean, something that Anna said was have the confidence to go for it. Go ask that question. Go advocate for yourself, she said. And so, Anna, thank you so much for being here and gracing us with so much gems and inspiration. I would also like to drop a special shout out to the Women in Programmatic Network. You've heard Anna also said that you sometimes you can go further when you're not alone, right? Like you can go, what is that old African proverb? Isn't it if you want to go far, go together or something like that?
Something like that, but it's definitely the point that I wanted to say because we can inspire just like seeing the super successful women that have been already achieved everything.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, it's if you want to go far, go. Or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Anyway, I'm sure somebody's gonna let me know in the comments, or or I'll fix it in the description of this video after this was recorded. But Anna, thank you so much for joining us again. This has been brought to y'all by the Women in Programmatic Network. If you are not in the group yet, they have a website. It will be in the show notes of this video and podcast. You can join the WhatsApp group. You can DM me directly and ask me to join, and I'll put you in contact with whomever. But Anna, if anybody wanted to stay in touch with you, how can they do that?
I will share my contact details after the call with you. Super thanks. It was really nice to talk
Yes, yes.
and share at least a share of my experience.
Yes, of course. No, thank you. And we'll have Anna back because this was too good to be just for like 30 minutes. We needed more. We need a whole sermon. We needed a whole hour from you. And maybe we need a book, Anna. Have you considered?
Of course.
Yes, I think we need a book. So let us know. Let us know first when when the book come out.
By the way, I am writing notes from time to time that maybe when I'm will get a little bit older, I will have something.
Yeah, there it is. There it is right there. So thank you again and
Thanks a
take
lot.
care.